joining us today. Your curiosity is wonderful. And just like you, it was my own curiosity about nature that led me to working right here at Seaworld. We receive so many questions about killer whales each and every day, from kids and grown-ups of all ages. We gathered those questions and put them all together right here in this Killer Whales Up Close book to share with you today. Now we connected them so that you can see everything up on the big screens. Now, if you're ready to get started, it's my privilege to introduce you to Lindy.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sammy Stadium.
Last time I was here. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, up first we have two whales that were born right here at Seaworld San Diego. In fact, right in this very pool. We have Orkid, the original baby shamu, and we also have an almost 15-year-old male. Ladies and gentlemen,
Nakai.
Orkid and Nakai. Next, we have the dominant female right here at Seaworld San Diego. She is 40 years old. She's a proud mom and grandma, and she's coming around the pool with one of her very best friends. We actually affectionately refer to this little guy as our goofball. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Kasatka and Ikaika. And finally, the dynamic duo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 3-year-old male, and he is going to be joined by the oldest whale here at SeaWorld. We have a
Corky.
52-year-old female. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Corky and Makani. Woo! Let's do that one more time. Woo!
That's great.
Now this is a pretty awesome introduction to see 6 of our 11 killer whales living right here with us at SeaWorld San Diego. The age range is all the way from little Amaya at 1.5 years up to Corky at 52 years old. We have 5 males and 6 females living right here with us at Shamu Stadium.
You can see how different each whale is. But did you know that there are even bigger differences in the wild? Would you be surprised if I told you that there are actually different types of killer whales? Scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different kinds of food. But although these ecotypes are different, killer whales are still considered members of one species, Orcinus orca. One of the questions that we get asked here all the time is how big will a killer whale grow to be? Well, that depends on what ecotype you're talking about. Is it a 16-foot female in Iceland or a 30-foot male in Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for our killer whale family. Now, let's check out some of your great questions. Oh, here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hand if you ever wanted to be an animal trainer. Wow, that's a lot. Then let's meet some of the dedicated men and women who interact with our family of killer whales every day.
On your far left, we have Katie. Behind me is Autumn. Again, I'm Lindy. Right next to me, we have Mike. And on the far side, we have Liz.
Our team is so passionate about what they do here every day. And that makes me think of your questions. Oh, here we go. Do the trainers talk to the whales? Well, I think I'm going to let you answer that one, Lindy.
That is a great question, Marcy. You know, we may not talk to the killer whales the way that you and I talk to each other, but we have created different hand signals in order to communicate with them. Our ongoing communication allows us to enjoy the really strong relationships that we have with these animals and helps us to answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
Now, that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our parks to the wild and then back again. That way, everyone benefits. Now, let's check out your next question. Oh, perfect. This individual wonders why whales jump. And I just happen to have that emoji. Check it out. You know, killer whales communicate in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they vocalize, and sometimes they use their bodies. A jump like that is called a breach, where they make a sound on top of the water. When a whale uses their body to slap the water, it creates a commotion, both above and below the surface.
Watch out. Look at that.
They may do this out of excitement, to display a little power, or just to get the attention of the other whales.
There has to be Makani along with Corky. Aww. Amaya.
Earlier, we heard of Kalia's cat, Amaya. SeaWorld social media fans actually helped to name her. Here at SeaWorld, we see newborn calves rely on their mothers for everything, from the very first moment of birth.
As a calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pod too. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, their pods can range in size, from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
Wow, that's a lot of questions. Believe it or not, we get them here every day.
We sure do. Killer whales communicate with each other by creating all sorts of different sounds. Let's listen. There's more. Each kind of killer whale, each pod has their own unique set of calls or dialect. But don't forget, they use body language too. Check it out.
Sometimes they blow bubbles, bump into each other, or even scratch each other with their teeth, causing something called rake marks. These are the multi-lined marks that you may see on the skin of some killer whales and dolphins. This is one of the ways that they display dominance over one another during social interactions, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. Well, we just learned that killer whales communicate and use body language to communicate with each other. But how do we communicate with them? Through signals. Here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales, and we want the next generation to be able to do the same.
Well, that's right. It is time for my very favorite part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce two very lucky audience members. Go ahead and turn around on this side. We have Lucas. Everybody wave to Lucas. He's busy learning some signals right now. And on the other side, we have Sydney. Sydney, give everybody a wave. Hello. They'll wave back. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to try a behavior with Nakai. We call this a tumble. And then Sydney, you might want to throw those hands up in the air. Look out. Okay, let's see if Nakai gets that tumble over here. Very nice. Walking behavior there with Lucas. Very good. You're off to a great start. And Sydney gets to toss some fish to Corky. It's not easy. easy, everybody. It's not easy. I know it's a big target, but it's not easy to aim right there. She can do it. Perfect. Look at that. Corky will get that one. And then check this out. Look at Lucas is getting a big wave. Hello! Now pretty cool. Nakai's waving those pectoral flippers. Corky's waving with her pectoral flippers. They use those for steering and stopping as they swim. If you were to take an x-ray, you would see a bone structure very similar to the human hand. Oh, little cool down for you. Oh boy. It's July, so that's a good thing. Getting all cooled off. Look at that, another wave from Nakai. And a pec slap, a pectoral flipper slap from Corky. Wow, I tell you what, Lucas and Sydney, you two did such a fantastic job today. We're going to send you home with these whale tail pendants so you can always remember meeting Corky and Nakai. Ladies and gentlemen, didn't they do a great job?
Okay, let's check out our next question. Oh, who takes care of you, Shamu? I love this question because it lets us give you a peek at how much we care about these extraordinary animals. Well, Lindy, is everybody ready?
We sure are. Now, if you look all the way across the pool at the stage, you will see Makani demonstrating what we call a tail fluke present. Now, he's only 3 years old, yet very comfortable in this position. Can you see him all the way over there? He's got his ventral side up, or belly side up, and you can see that Liz is very calmly rubbing his tail flukes. And this is so that we can kind of maintain a nice calm demeanor from him, and the veterinarians can come closer and get a blood draw. They have very prominent veins that run along the ventral side or white part of their tail flukes. Very nice demonstration from Makani. Now the slide out behavior that you see is actually a really good photo opportunity. So go ahead and focus your cameras right next to me in the slide out. We have Nakai on his way. This is not only for a photo opportunity. Check him out, here he is.
Gonna jump up there, see him?
Very nice from our 6,000-pound male. Now we know he's 6,000 pounds because, like I said, it's not just a photo op. This is actually a really important behavior. We weigh the whales every Thursday morning, sometimes more often than that, and that way we know that the adults are maintaining a great healthy weight and the juveniles are growing properly. Now the high energy behaviors that you see are behaviors that whales do in the wild and here at Seaworld. A small jump on the far side of the pool from Corky, and then focus your cameras to the center of the pool for a beautiful high energy behavior. Now behaviors like that help us to ensure that the whales get all of the exercise that they need each and every day.
Wow.
You know, Lindy, I'm sure some of our guests also wonder, how much does a killer whale need to eat to stay healthy?
Another great question. Just like us, the whales have different dietary needs. So little Makani at stage is actually eating 35 pounds of fish every single day. Watch Liz. She's asking him if he would like a fish right now. Let's see. He wants that one. Does he want the one in her hand? He doesn't want that one, Liz. Let's see. So he eats 35 pounds of fish every day. See if he wants the whole bucket. Now the difference here, we have Corky over here on the far side. Again, she's 52 years old. She weighs 8,000 pounds, and she eats 155 pounds of fish every day. Now it's really important to know that no matter what the whales do, they're always going to receive all of their food.
Because we've been able to determine how much a killer whale eats throughout different stages of their life, researchers are able to use this information out in the field to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for killer whale populations to thrive. And that type of information is invaluable.
You know, food, exercise, and physical exams from our veterinarians aren't all that the killer whales need. We want to make sure that their minds are stimulated and enriched as well. So if you look up on the main screen, you will see some toys that are underwater. We also get the whales kelp that they can kind of drag around. One of my favorite things to see is when they drape it on their flipper or their dorsal fin and tow it around. And we have some sugar-free taste and gelatin that they can suction right off the glass. Now the trainers have planned a really fun little playtime right now just to kind of demonstrate how we play with the whales. You can see Mike and Nakai are playing a game right now, a peck slap game. And it looks like Makani is playing up on the stage with Liz. really, really seems to enjoy coming up on the stage with us or up on any slide out area and getting a nice long back rub. And you can see that Katie has gathered some friends down over there to toss some snowballs to Corky. The whales seem to enjoy all different kinds of ice, so we can offer them really big ice chunks, little ice chips, even snowballs like you're seeing. Makani's playing a great game of slide up on stage with Liz. He just keeps coming back for more. Now, whether shows are going on or not, this is actually what we do with the whales all day long. This is a day at the office for the trainers and the whales. We have a really fun time pretty much throughout every single day. With all of the games and enrichment that we provide, the best stimulation for the whales always seems to be enrichment and interaction between them and the other whales, and of course our team of trainers. Thanks, guys.
Now, how about a question for all the kids out there? They all want to know who would win if a killer whale squared off with a great white shark. Now, how many of you think the great white shark would win? Raise your hands. Okay. And how many of you think the killer whales would win? That's right, killer whales. You see, a great white shark hunts alone, where a killer whale hunts in a pod, so it's not even a competition. Killer whales have been known to hunt blue whale. Do you know how big a blue whale is? At over 80 feet, it's the largest animal to have ever existed on the planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge animals because they coordinate, collaborate, and cooperate. They work together as a group to overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. We could learn a lot from them about how to overcome the challenges our ocean faces. In fact, if we collaborated like killer whales, we could help change the fate of the ocean and maybe the world. Oh, great. Now here comes a bunch of questions that always come our way, so here we go. Why do some dorsal fins curve? That's a great question. Dorsal fins have no skeletal support, such as bones or cartilage, to help support their height and weight. They are made completely of connective tissue. So if an animal spends more time at the surface of the water, the tissue in that dorsal fin may weaken and the fin will bend. We occasionally see curved dorsal fins both in the wild, like you see in that picture, and here at Seaworld. Next one, how fast can they swim? Depending on their body weight, they can swim close to 30 miles an hour. Check it out.
Come on, guys. Yeah, Corky.
Go back. Here we go. And take off. There we go.
Go, girl.
That's pretty fast. Yeah.
Wow. Next one. How much water can their tails splash? Their tails, or flukes as they are called, are strong enough to fling a whole lot of water, about halfway up those stands. Last one. If all the whales splashed all at once, could they get the whole audience wet? Well, maybe not the whole audience.
There goes the tie.
Oh, look at that.
watching. You know, killer whales are so inspiring. The more we learn about them, the more we see they represent more than just themselves. Truly, to better understand the killer whale is to better understand the ocean. Never stop wondering about the natural world around you. Visit us at Seaworld San